and unmuted my mic, and here I am. Hello, everyone. How's it going? Boy, it's like 80-something degrees out here in New Hampshire. I absolutely love it. I love the heat. I love it. I don't care if it's 100. 50 degrees is too cold for me. Yes, but I won't always be living in New Hampshire. I will be moving south for a better part of the year. Okay, so this is going to be an update on some of the news, some of the crazy stuff in the news, but I'm going to give you a couple updates. Last night I did a deep, in-depth talk and presentation on operating agreements, just basically explaining to people the ins and outs of operating agreements, but also where the disputes and issues tend to reside within an operating agreement, because obviously I get asked this all the time, disputes, and I'm actually seeing it quite a bit from other people that are it's a lot of crazy things going on in the market right now, and as a result of that, people are getting into disputes, and as a result of that, they're getting kind of nasty. Somebody read me a nasty email yesterday or 2 days ago that from a disgruntled investor on a particular project. The guy was ripped mad and is losing or will lose a lot of money, but what his response was uncalled for. It just hey, if you can't afford to lose the investment, don't invest. And in this particular case, the guy was getting incredibly personal, even with the guy's family, with the general partner's family. I don't know the general partner. The person that was reading it to me did know the GP and had nice things to say about him. Said he's a good guy. He's just, he's just caught in this market, and it happens. But it goes back to one of my mantras. And for those of you that work with me and know me, I am the man of mantras. And one of my biggest mantras is always answer your phone. Even when going gets tough and you're going to get your head bashed in, answer the phone. That helped us through some challenging times back in the last crash, kept our investors remaining friends of ours, even though we lost properties. But it's just something that is a wise thing to do. So that's what I did. As I went down the legal rabbit hole on operating agreements, showing my students basically where the biggest questions come into play when there are problems with the operating agreement. Another thing is, make sure you join us next Tuesday for this call. I'm going to invite all of my Monday Night Live clients, all of my hotel to home investor clients, and we're going to have a phenomenal guest, and he's going to share with us what he's created using AI to help multifamily investors and all investors of all kinds to be able to manage their properties in a way like I've never seen before. Absolutely fascinating what this guy has to do. His name is Laren, and he will be joining us next Tuesday. So make sure you all sign up for that. All right. So let me take a swig, and I'm going to get into the news, the multifamily news of the day. Oh, that water is so good. I love water. Okay, coming to you. Most of this stuff is going to be coming from The Real Deal. Love The Real Deal. You should always subscribe to it. It's just they really stay on top of everything that's going on in our industry. And I want to talk to you about this New Jersey investor named Aaron Puritz. And the thing about Aaron is he's been around pulling these shenanigans for a while now. But he pled guilty recently in a $55 million fraud scheme. And what I want you to understand is how he did it, not because I want to teach you how to do it, because I want you to watch out and make sure you never get caught in these types of deals again, ever. And always remember this: your bank is your biggest investor. Treat them like the gold that they are. Don't try to pull a fast one on your lender. Okay. Be very upfront and honest with them on all that's going on with your property. All right. New Jersey real estate investor Aaron Peretz pled guilty for his role in a $55 million mortgage fraud scheme to illegally acquire multifamily and other commercial properties. And the DOJ charged him and another guy with actually all different properties. But as part of the scheme, Peretz and his partner, here's how they did it. They would acquire the property. They acquired a particular property for $43 million, but sent the lender fake documents showing they purchased the property for $70 million. And Riverside Abstract, guys, that's a title insurance company, and they're not allowed to play with Fannie or Freddie anymore right now. So these types of shenanigans brought down an title insurance company because they were working with these guys. And the Riverside Abstract closed on both the real closing and the fake closing. But to conceal the fraud, Peretz and his partners took on a $30 million bridge loan to make it look like they had the funds needed to close on the deal. So, I'll tell you, it sounds to me like it was a construction loan. Like, they're getting a loan based upon the loan to cost. And they said the cost was going to be $70 million. So they do 65% of that. Now they have to show that they have the money in the bank, but they have to have the money in the bank. They can't go out and get another loan. But this time they did, and they didn't disclose it to the original lender. So the fraud scheme involved this technology park that's come under the eye of the Department of Justice, in which the property owners inflated the financials or the sales price to obtain larger loans than they otherwise would have received. Now, the Department of Justice alleges Peretz defrauded at least 3 lenders along with Freddie Mac. And the first instance of alleged fraud occurred in 2017. And that involved a multifamily property in Eureka, Illinois. It was purchased for $4.1 million. But Peretz and his partners presented a fraudulent sales contract for $5.8 million to their lender. So essentially what they're trying to do, this is like the oldest game in the book. Essentially what they tried to do was, let's buy this property, no money down. We'll get a contract for 4.1. We'll tell the bank it's 5.8. We'll ask the bank for a 65 or 70% loan to value, which just so happens to be 4.1. And they give the 4.1 to the seller. Now you might think to yourself, well, okay, where's the fraud? Well, the fraud is this. The bank only will do a deal if there's a certain loan to value, if there's a certain spread between the actual live value and the amount that they're lending. They will not give you 100% loan. But you might be thinking to yourself, so how did this happen? How did these guys get a property appraised at 5.8 million? Well, let me tell you something. That's where the appraisers come in, and they might be dirty as well. So the conspirators also alleged, get a load of this one. The conspirators also allegedly set up a nonprofit entity, JPC Charities, for the purpose of receiving tax-exempt status for the properties owned by Peretz. Peretz and his partners provided false statements to the city of Eureka to receive a property tax exemption. Now, in July of 2019, Peretz and his co-conspirators acquired a multifamily property in Little Rock, Arkansas. By using the identity of an associate, Peretz hid his own ownership with the property management company from the Department of Housing and Urban Development and other federal state agencies. This guy is as dirty as they come. He has done nothing but he can't look. He needs a corkscrew to get out of his pants. How's that? That's how crooked this guy is. And he kept on doing it. Now he's sentenced to a maximum of 5 years in prison, just 5 years. And this guy's going to come back and try it all again, I'm sure, because that's what he's good at. I'll tell you something. I just was put on the board of assessors in my hometown, and I have my first meeting coming up in 2 days. And actually, this is my second go round on the board of assessors. And the first time I was on the board of assessors was like 30 years ago. And I was much younger, much more inexperienced. I'm a lot wiser, older and wiser now. But I was just looking at the properties that are coming across for abatements and revaluations that I'm going to have to judge upon in 2 days. And it was very interesting to see that most of the commercial properties, they don't provide the data necessary to get this, to get an abatement. They just send over a owner's valuation. And they might, like one guy just provided a line on the bottom of his financials that shows what the NOI is. And he doesn't show any breakdown, doesn't show like where the numbers come from. So it's a problem. I can't wait to see what these guys are going to do when there's the new sheriff in town. What I think they're doing is they're just throwing junk against the wall at the assessor's level, and then we'll wait for the appeal to take it up to Concord and go before a judge there. So, but I'll educate them as to how we value multifamily property. All right, let's see what else do we have here. So here, let me tell you about this one. All right, so as a result of all these shenanigans being played out in the marketplace, some of the big lenders, some of the big dust lenders like Berkadia, and that's who I'm talking about right now, like Berkadia, and this also comes from the Real Deal, they are not working with intermediaries like outside brokers. They're stopping working for outside brokers. The firm's lending arm has shifted to dealing directly with borrowers instead of using intermediaries. And the move comes after Freddie Mac changed its underwriting policies and is seeking to clamp down on fraud in the industry. The company said in a statement it will still use reputable brokers. Isn't that like an oxymoron? I'm kidding you. Reputable brokers for loans on a case-by-case basis when it's in the best interest of their clients. Probably, brokers that they've been working with for years. Berkadia has also prioritized direct business with our clients and customers rather than operating through third-party brokers. The shift is notable given this company's scale of operations. Last year, Berkadia ranked as the largest lender of Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and HUD loans in the U.S. Berkadia's loan volume totaled almost $12 billion. Its move is happening amid a widening investigation by Fannie, Freddie, FHFA, and the Office of Inspector General to weed out mortgage fraud. Freddie Mac has recently made some changes to its underwriting policies, and the agency now requires property owners to send loan documents directly to lenders instead of going through brokers. Freddie Mac has also increased know your customer requirements for first-time borrowers. And notably, Freddie and Fannie have essentially blacklisted commercial mortgage brokerage Meridian Capital Group from new deals, while the agencies examine allegations that a few of its brokers inflated financials to obtain larger loans than they otherwise would have. In response, Meridian has appointed Brian Brooks, a former acting comptroller of the currency, as its new CEO. So they got caught, and I'll tell you something. Let me tell you my experience with Meridian. And we were doing a deal, hotel deal, and this one broker who was loan broker, mortgage broker, who was telling us, "Oh, he could do all these great things." Come to find out, he used to be with Meridian, and it just kind of gave me a bad taste in my mouth. And sure enough, that experience with that particular broker was a bad one. And it's really too bad that these guys get so hungry that they're willing to cut corners. No reason to cut corners, folks. Just find another deal and make things work. All right, more of my water. Very nice. All right. Now, finally, a couple of things. One thing I definitely want to just to bring to everybody's attention um, is that you gotta check out IRR.com. You always have to be looking at IRR. You can get a great report in IRR.com about multifamily on any real estate asset class. But if we look at the multifamily, and they give you some great bullet points of what's going on in the marketplace, and they give you the great viewpoint document, downloadable document. It shows you what's going on, what markets are changing, where they're changing to, from, and to in the cycle. But let me give you, like, one of the things they came up with was that cap rates, urban properties in the South led with the highest cap rate increase nationally. They've gone up 54 bips to 5.10. In the fours, hey, people were buying those properties in the 4 cap rates, and now, especially down there in the South, those properties are now showing up in the fives. And while suburban properties in the West saw the least rate cap rate expansion, but it was still an expansion. And now they're looking at about 4.82% cap rates out in the West. So those people that were buying properties at 4 caps in the South, my condolences to you. It'll be years before you get your money back. It's gone up just in the last year from Q2 of 2022 to Q2 of 2023. Actually, that was a whole year ago. And here we are in 2024. And I can almost tell you that I'm sure it's even higher. Market rents, Class A properties saw the highest regional market rent increase in the central region at 5.64%, while Class B properties experienced more modest growth. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, wow, if all of the rents are still going up, let me see, in the national, okay, but if rents are still going up, why are property valuations coming down? Okay, a couple of different things. First off, the cap rates are increasing. Now, we all know that cap rates are a function of the net operating income and the purchase price. But I had one college professor come in and to a presentation he was giving, and he made the statement that, oh boy, what did he say? Cap rates have nothing to do with the net operating income. And another lawyer and I looked at each other like, did he just say what I think he said? And we kind of called him on it, and he got adamant that we were wrong. I'm thinking to myself, how many multifamily properties has this clown ever bought? This guy has no idea what he's talking about. It was the last time I had him speak at one of my events. Okay. Oh, did I say that out loud? Oh, sorry. Here's what the issue is. The rents continue to go up, but the problem is so do the interest rates. Now, you might understand, like I was just about to say, the cap rates have increased and interest rates have increased. Vacancy rates have dropped. I'm sorry, vacancy rates have gone up approximately 4.29%. That's 107, almost a whole point higher in Class B properties in the East. Okay, so I know that interest rates have nothing to do with cap rates. I get it. I totally get it. You don't have to argue that point. But why are cap rates going up? Cap rates are going, even when the rents are going up. Why are the value of the properties coming down? That's what happens when cap rates go up. But the rents are still going up. And vacancy rates, though they've gone up as well too, they're still very strong. Why? What's happening? Folks, it's got everything to do with the interest rates. The interest rates are what's causing the increase in value and the increase in the cap rates and the reduction in the valuation. But it has nothing to do. Listen, cap rates is just one tool for measuring the value of a property. Debt coverage ratio is what really truly is determining the value of property right now. Because if you can't afford to buy the property at the current interest rates, you're not going to spend that price. So what we're seeing now is banks are not looking at cap rates. They're looking at interest rates. They're looking at interest rates because the interest rates are determining the debt coverage ratio. If you can't afford to pay back the loan, then you're not going to buy that property at that price. And and I had this on my call last night with my students. There is a huge lag between the buyers and the sellers in what the value of the property is. The sellers still think their properties are worth what they were 2 years ago. Well, they should have sold them back 2 years ago if they're looking to get that price. Because today, the buyers are still looking to leverage the property and go to a bank, and the bank looks at the numbers and say, we can't give you that price. That's crazy. So you know what you're seeing happening now? What you're seeing happening now are sellers are becoming the bank. They say, hey, if we can't get the prices we want because the banks are charging too much for the cost of money, well, why don't we become the bank? We'll set the purchase price, and if you agree to buy it at this price, we'll be the bank. Folks, it doesn't work that way. If you find those deals, run for the hills. There's no need to do them. All right, coming in for a landing here. Seeing if there are any questions. No more questions. But listen, come in, make sure you join me next week, because that's going to be a fascinating conversation. This is the type of thing that we're going to be implementing in our hotels to home conversions company to make sure that we're watching all the numbers and we're doing everything as maximally, well, you know what I mean, right? Okay. Great to see you all on this beautiful 90-degree day here in southern New Hampshire. This is where people from New Hampshire go to get the 90-degree weather. Southern New Hampshire. I'm sure it's nice and cool up in the mountains, but down here, this is the way it is. Wait a minute, what do we have? Llama. Hope those owner finance sellers are getting 30%. Yeah, Llama. Yeah, not only that, they're giving you very incredible interest rates. Very, very interesting interest rates. Boy, there was that time. And folks, one way that you can test this out is if you use LoopNet, or I even think CoStar can do this, but if you, let's say LoopNet, and you do a search, a multifamily search using the keywords seller financing, and watch what pops up. I did it on Crexy the other day. So try doing it on Crexy. Watch what pops up. If you see anything with seller finance, where the seller's going to, if you give them the price, this is what's going to happen. Just do the math. Just do the math backwards. If they give you the price and they show you what the NOI is, then what's going to happen is you can figure out what the cap rate is. Well, some of these cap rates were coming in the 4s. So in other words, even if you get seller financing, you're still overpaying for the property. And what's another one of my mantras? Never overpay for real estate. You're better off just dropping the keys on the bank's desk. All right. So we are investors. We are not retail buyers. Those are the Marcus and Millichap clients. We don't overpay for property. We find deals. That's how we work. All right. Okay. Great to see you all. Good to see you, Lama. Thank you for that comment. If anybody else has any comments, you got 5 seconds to even just say hello. 5, 4, 3. Oh, stinkers. All right. Good to see you all. We'll talk soon.